Hello and welcome to our very special and exclusive segment with Shantanu Rooj, the founder and CEO of Teamlease Edtech. Thank you for your time. They've come out with the latest report. Teamlease Edtech has come out with the latest report titled From Learning to Earning. Now, the report has various highlights, and primarily it talks about the role of CSR, corporate social responsibility, in transforming education into employability at large, the role of corporates in shaping higher education, skilling, as well as job creation. So, what are the courses in demand at the moment to increase this employability? What really is the hiring sentiment, the industry trends at the moment, and does this vary when it comes from cities to cities? Well, to decode all of that, I am joined by Shantanu Rooj. Shantanu, thank you for your time. First, really, take our viewers through the broad highlights of this report.
Thank you so much, Sakshi. So we have been talking for quite some time that India's journey from being a developing nation to a Viksit Bharat will go through many milestones and many different experiments are required. India will have to find a very important way to upskill its youth, and many different experiments has to work in tandem with each other. Another experiment that's required is to find out innovative ways to find education financing. We spoke about 1,000 odd employers to understand what are their sentiments, what they believe must change. That was the reason we wanted to come out with this report. 1,000 employers bringing out their opinion about what must change for them, how they can contribute better further into this India's skilling and upskilling and new skilling initiative.
Right. But what really would you say were the broad highlights that came about as far as, of course, from learning to earning really is concerned, the title of your report, because many a time we see that, look, training is happening, skilling is happening, but perhaps that job creation is not happening. So how do you think we can reach that?
So yeah, Shakshi, for quite some time we have been saying that in India, employability is a bigger problem than employment. There are lots of jobs available in the country today, but employers always complain that they're not able to find out the right type of people who fit into those job roles, right? Interestingly, out of the people that we spoke to, a large number of employers, almost about 85% of them, wanted to play a very active role in this particular scheme. And they believe that the Prime Minister's internship scheme is a great scheme to participate. But unfortunately, today it's restricted to the top 500 employers of the country. Large number of employers are willing to participate. That's number one. The second thing that they said is that the amount of money that they can pay for the student stipend from their CSR fund is limited to 10%. And that is something that must go up. That will ensure that there's a larger pool of money available for student financing, skilling, upskilling, and paying stipend and things like that. Interestingly, also a large number of people also said that they would want to absorb some part of these interns as their permanent workforce. I think those are the highlights of this entire report that we came out with.
Right. What are the courses in demand then to increase employability for our viewers who are, of course, watching this? What would you say?
I think the courses on demand actually are aligning to the way India's entire economy is growing. If you look at the sectors which are growing in the country today, it's infrastructure, it's manufacturing, it's electronics, logistics, e-commerce, some part telecom. I think some of these sectors which are growing today, employers are asking universities to launch programs in that space. They are actually coming forward and wanting to partner with universities to launch these programs. Teamlease Edtech and at least about 5 dozen universities in the country who are working with us today have launched several work-linked programs, which are co-parented by the industry and the university together. I think we are seeing some of the innovation there. A lot of these routine programs, for example, BBA or BCom, are transforming now to be called as BBA with specialization retail, BBA with specialization in banking and finance. For example, BCom with specialization in something else. I think these specializations are coming up, and which is aligned to the way the industry is growing, right? So that is the new thing that we are seeing today, Sakshi.
Mm-hmm. Right. Industry trends that are driving this growth, you would say, as it were, at the moment, and jobs really that are driving, trending at the moment. What would you say?
There are many different industries where we are seeing a fantastic momentum and great promising potential. For example, the technology startups, the e-commerce segment, the telecom, the manufacturing, infrastructure, construction, retail are the segments that we are seeing a great amount of growth, which is showing up there. I think those are the places where we'll see the largest number of hiring which is happening, which will drive the number of courses that universities will launch to ensure that the people are getting skilled for those particular job roles and those particular industries. I think we have started seeing some sort of synergy between what the world of work needs and what the world of education is preparing today.
Right. When I was reading your report, there was one, segment really and one sector really that stood out, which was job roles and cities. Now, what are the key job roles that are in demand at the moment, and is this adhering to only a few cities? Is there some sectors that are standing out, because there seems to be some sort of a disparity? Take our viewers through those details.
So, Sakshi, yes, there are different sectors who actually have promised or they are displaying different type of momentum. The maximum amount of momentum is coming from industries like technology startups, e-commerce companies, manufacturing, construction, electronics, telecom, retail. These are the sectors which are showing much higher momentum of growth at their intention to hire freshers than somebody else, right? At this point, there are industries which were lacking for the last few quarters. Technologies like IT services, for example, has been lagging in terms of hiring freshers for quite some time. But looks like the next few quarters will start seeing good momentum there due to some of this geopolitical changes that are all taking place all across the world. So one is we are seeing different type of momentum in different industries. That's one. Second thing is the traditional metros continue to remain the biggest hiring. I mean, the biggest number of openings are still coming from cities like Bangalore, Mumbai, Delhi, NCR, and Hyderabad. And those are the places. But interestingly, if you see, Sakshi, that the second tier cities are also coming up very aggressively these days. A lot of startups are being formed in those cities. A lot of e-commerce companies, the quick commerce, all of these are growing even in tier 2, tier 3 cities today. And interestingly, if you compare my report about 8 quarters before and today's report, you'll see that the number of open positions, number of employers coming from tier 2 and tier 3 cities, the acceleration is much higher there than only in the metros today. That's the shift that we have started seeing.
Right. So that's a significant shift that is being witnessed. Now, I'd like to also ask you that, look, we are seeing tech giants invest heavily in artificial intelligence, right? While your report at the moment, I know, is focusing on, of course, CSR, skilling, and jobs, and which roles are in demand, which cities are witnessing a certain trend. But as far as artificial intelligence is concerned, the impact that you see on employability, especially as far as overall sectors are concerned, and of course, cities at large as well.
So, Sakshi, I mean, the world has seen these type of disruptions many times in the past, right? My grandfather used to tell me that when the calculator was invented, a lot of people thought that they will lose their jobs, because at that time employers used to have thousands of people, hundreds of people who used to do those bahi khata work. Right? Calculator came, it could calculate much faster. People would lose jobs. Nobody lost jobs. Actually, they become better skilled. They knew how to operate with the calculator now. When computers came, people thought that again people would be displaced from their job roles, and there will be a lot of unemployability. That didn't happen. Actually, it created no new job roles. I think artificial intelligence is exactly a technology like that. It's going to make humans more efficient, more productive. Only thing is, some of us will need to learn how to use that to our advantage, become more higher productive today. For example, if you look at content, your industry, journalism, I'm sure you're already using AI to some extent. Gen AI is being used by every single industry today. And that has only made journalists more efficient today, and they're more productive today. I think there's no, I at least am coming from a place of optimism, which says that there will be new job roles created. Humans will be more efficient by use of AI. There's no way you can not do AI anymore. It's going to be very irresponsible not to know AI. So people will need to get upskilled. Every industry is going to get impacted by this. But I think most of them will be positively impacted by this. Companies will need to transform themselves.
All right. And lastly, you talk about companies transforming themselves. So the role of corporates really in shaping higher education as far as CSR as a responsibility is concerned, and of course, then resulting that in job creations. What would be your message really, your key message to all the corporates?
So, Sakshi, I mean, most CEOs today, when we talk to them, they all believe that the biggest challenge is to find out the right type of talent for the organization. That's the biggest challenge CEOs have faced. The question that they've been asking themselves, that should they be waiting at the wings and waiting for the right talent to walk in the doors, or should I come forward and start manufacturing my own employees? There have been several experiments that have been done. But I think now this future belongs to a scenario where multiple life forms of education will exist, but the one that will survive possibly is something that is always on the go, which is online, which is hybrid, which is multimodal, crowd-forced and gamified, something which is being co-parented by the university and employer together. I think the interesting thing will happen at the intersection, at the junction. Employers must play a forward role and a more proactive role in this case. I think it will help the organization as much as it will help universities and finally the learner.
All right. Thank you so much for this special interaction. And of course, we will continue to track this space and more.
Thank you so much.